many businesses were affected by the pandemic, and going back to normal it's kind of up in the air right now. So joining us to explain how businesses will transition back to work is leading business strategist Scott Steinberg. Welcome, Scott. So how has the pandemic impacted businesses and entrepreneurs?
Quite a lot, you could say. In fact, what you find is that change is the new normal, and the only thing we can expect is the unexpected going forward. So a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs having to remix their playbooks and operating strategies on the fly. And of course, everyone is talking about making the move to digital. The good news being, at the same time, if you need help with building a website, an app, an email newsletter, technology is rising to the occasion. You can even find online marketplaces, for example, like Fiverr.com, where you can go and find creative freelancers from all over the world who can help you build anything on the fly faster and more affordably than ever.
And what challenges are entrepreneurs facing right now?
Well, a big challenge is having to keep pace with customer needs. Situations on the ground are changing. Customer expectations are constantly changing. People are more focused on value, getting more for every dollar than ever, even as they're reticent to walk back into physical locations. And of course, many business owners are dealing with changed hours, shrunk capacity, trying to figure out what they can offer to their local community, even as the community itself is often figuring out what it needs on the fly. But the good news is, again, there are many ways to experiment, try new things, cost affordably. The companies that think like startups are going to be the ones that succeed going forward.
And for entrepreneurs trying to get their business back to normal, or a new normal, like we're saying, what are some steps that they should take in setting up their business?
Well, I think it's important to get started with just about any service or solution now. Don't overthink it. Most things can be built for under $100. You can do it in a matter of hours. You really got to get out there, try, experiment, see what works, and based on the feedback that you get from your customers and community, then adapt to do better with each successive effort. I don't know that there's going to be a new normal so much as many new normals going forward. We might reopen only to close, to have to reopen again. So you got to give yourself the resources and capabilities you need to be more resourceful and to think faster on your feet today. But again, if you go to these websites like Fiverr or online stock photo libraries where things are free to download and remix, you're going to find all sorts of helpful tools.
And we're seeing a plethora of more and more people working from home now. What are some tips you have for transitioning your business online?
Well, if you're trying to get online, I think you got to remember that just about any problem that you might need to solve, other business owners have had it. So there are pre-existing tools and solutions that can help you out. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. And again, you're not going to figure out the right strategy overnight. A lot of people have to try a lot of different things. The key is to be fast on your feet, to be more flexible, to keep an open mind. And again, it's easier and more cost affordable than it has been in the past. The first step was often figuring out where to get started. Well, guess what? The solutions are often just a click or call away at this point.
Right. And do you feel it's necessary for more businesses to transition to an online platform rather than in person?
Oh, absolutely. Physical is not going to go away ever completely, but hybrid digital and physical solutions are the way forward. These are trends that were existing beforehand, the move away from physical retail to online, the shift to curbside and online delivery and on-demand solutions. All this was happening, this remote work, this telework. What's happened is the pandemic really has served as an accelerant, right? It really has moved things forward faster. So the best way to deal with change is to change your strategies as well. But I'm confident people are resourceful, they're resilient. As millions of business owners are proving, it is eminently possible to keep up with changing times.
I agree with you. You got to learn to adapt. So what are some future trends you're seeing that should be a part of an e-commerce plan?
Well, I think it's important to be memorable, to stand out at a glance, right? If you're nondescript, if you offer a service or solution that other providers are offering, you're going to have a big problem because more people are competing for people's attention than ever, and customer attention is shrinking. So you got to make sure everybody has a good experience, that they understand what you have to offer fast. And we're seeing more and more offers that are keyed to local needs and local communities. And in fact, we're seeing more businesses that are teaming up with one another to find creative partnerships that they can leverage to get ahead and stay ahead in the marketplace and better connect with customers as well. So remember, you don't have to reinvent everything from scratch. Oftentimes, you just have to think about how you can take pre-existing resources and capabilities and remix or repackage them to be more successful, or who you and your community can team up with to take things to the next level.
Nice. And what effects, I mean, we have to talk about it. What effects will the coronavirus have on long-term business environments?
Well, I think it's going to make it more challenging, that's for certain. You're going to have to do things more virtually, more on demand. It's going to mean a shift in staffing to have less people on site. It may mean a shift in operating hours. You can't stay open certain days that aren't going to be profitable, especially if you're operating at a fraction of the capacity you were before. And of course, it's going to mean a shift towards more value-priced solutions. People aren't looking for luxuries so much at this point as they are trying to get back to basics. So you really got to stay attuned to what customers want, and a bigger emphasis on social media as well, because you got to listen.
Exactly. Yes, I completely agree with you. Thank you so much, Scott, for coming on our show today, and thank you to our YCL viewers.